Okay, all right. Now let's see how to clean the data and reformat it so that you could use it um, in Tableau and other software. Now for cleaning and reformatting data, we use Tableau Prep Builder. Now um, suppose we extracted data from World Development Indicators, the database. The World Data Bank database is World Development Indicators is one of the databases, and so I've shown you how to extract pertinent data that we need for this Gapminder application. So we start with data extract from WDI as the input file to Tableau Prep Builder. And the output, we name it as a WDI flow output. Now this is also called flow. And so what we do here in this is, we take, this is the data extract. As you can see here, data extract from, WDI. And it looks, something like this. As you can see, country name, country code, the series names, fertility rate, life expectancy at birth, and population. So it's going to repeat for every country, about 217 or so. And then you have the data for each year starting 1960. We have it until 2019. Okay, so this is the data that we use as input to Tableau Prep Builder, and so from that we get this data. This is the output file from Tableau Prep Builder, and as you can see, we have country code, country name, year, population, life expectancy, fertility rate, and number of records. So these are the only columns that we'll have, and the data is going to be repeated, for each year, 1960 to 2019. And so the total number of records, you would see about 13,021. Okay. So this is the output. This is a clean data, clean and reformatted data. As you can see, the year is also, reformatted, cleansed, and you can see these series, as columns rather than as rows, and we remove a lot of, nulls or blanks. So this is clean data. It's that we can use in Tableau. Okay. All right. Now we have the data file from the World Data Bank on World Development Indicators, and let's clean that file using Tableau Prep Builder. And let's open Tableau Prep Builder. It looks something like this, the opening screen. Let's connect to data. The file that we have is Excel file. Let's connect to the Excel file, and this is the Excel file. And here is the data, and we have two sheets in that. We are interested in this and data. So let's drag it to the canvas. And what you see is, there is something wrong here. These are, everything is alphabetic, and so maybe we can clean it up a little bit. Let's see if, yeah, it changed, as you can see. Okay, so now that looks a little better, but still, as you can see, the variables that we have country name, country code, series name. The series names are, as you can see, fertility rate, uh, life expectancy, and the population. Okay, and then series code, and the data is from 1960 to, I guess, 2019. Okay, so this is the input data that we have, and we need to clean it up, and we want to make these variables as columns, and we had to change the year, the way it looks, and it will not work in Tableau, so we have to clean this up. All right, so the first step that we need to do is, let's add a clean step. Okay, and you can see how the data looks like, country code, the series names, series code, and the years, and etc. And okay, all right. So here, let's see. Okay, first of all, these different panes, and the way you can look at it, this data from different views. The first one is this is a show profile pane, and the second one is data grid. Okay, you can see the details, and the last. So I think first thing we need to do is clean up these years, and probably we need to um, take a pivot, as you can see here, and so years are here, and so select the first year and go to the end, press shift key and the last year, and then drag it to the pivoted fields. Okay, now we'll change this to year, and let's change this to, rename it to value. Okay, now to clean this up, let's use a clean step. All right, let's split this. Let's choose custom split based on the space that you have there, and let's press space, split it. Okay, so now here we have a clean year that you can see, and we can delete this one, remove it, and change the name here. All right, okay, so now we have clean years, and the next thing that we need to do is convert these series names, 3 of them, to columns. Okay, so in order to convert these series names from rows to columns, what we need to do is, let's go to this view, and let's add a pivot step. Okay, so we need to change this from rows to columns. Okay, and then let's move this series name here to pivoted fields, and then value to the field to aggregate columns. All right, so yeah, that looks good, and now what you see is there are a ton of null values. So if you look in the data grid, and you can see all those null values. So what we need to do is we need to aggregate this. Okay, because of these null values, we want to aggregate them, and let's add an aggregate step, and we want to aggregate them by year. Let's drop it, drop year into grouped fields, and also by country name and country code. Also, let's add the remaining, the variables: fertility rate to aggregate fields, life expectancy, and also the population to the aggregate fields, and we can add a number of rows as well. All right. Okay. Now, as you can see, we have number of rows, population, life expectancy, fertility rate, they are as columns here. Now, we need to change this number of rows. Instead of 3, we need to change it to minimum. That's 1. Okay, and then change the name. Let's rename it a number of records. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. And now, if you want to rearrange these fields, we can do that. Let's see. For instance, country name first, maybe country code, year. Okay. Now the next thing is to do is create the output file. Okay. For that we add output, and so the data is going to look like this. Okay. Now, first thing we need to do is we have to choose the type of file that we want to create, and that is in a CSV file, right? And then we want to choose where to create that file, and generally it goes to this depository, and we may not want that. We may want to call it in a WDI flow output, and accept it. So yeah, this is called flow. Okay, as you can see here, each of these steps. Okay, so now we have created the name. Now let's run this, or from here or from here. Okay, finished, and it created the flow, and so and that file looks like this. Okay, well, we don't need that many. Something like that. Okay, and they are not in any alphabetical order or something, but this is a CSV file. You can actually change it to a table or Excel file. You can highlight the whole thing. It's not necessary for using it in Tableau, but if you want, you can create a table from this data. But as you can see, you have 13,021 records, that we expected, right? And so, yeah, you can format it as a table like this. Okay, so that's this is. All right. So this is how it looks, and if you want to sort it, you can of course do that. So these are all 1962 something, and then you can put in alphabetical order of the country. So you can see it how it looks. All right. So now we can use this as I can save this as Excel file. Okay. All right. And you can use this Excel file um, or the CSV file as input to a Tableau. As you can see, this was the original file that we got. This data extract from um, the World Bank database, and we changed it to this. Okay, using Tableau Prep. All right, guys. Okay. The next thing to do is use this as input, this or the CSV file as input to Tableau, and develop Gapminder. Okay, and that would be the next assignment. All right.